Hello everyone, welcome back to part 2 of our retop of our Groot. Um, right now, I'm actually going to save and set up the project here. It's probably something I should have done to begin with. So I'm going to exit out of this tool, go back to object mode here. I'm going to go to File, go to Project Window, and I'm going to make a new project. The new project is going to be called Groot, and I'm going to put this on my D drive. That's where I want it, but not that folder. So I'm going to change it from airplane. I have one folder on my D drive called My Projects. I'm just going to set it up there. And then all these folders here are all default folders that Maya includes inside of a project. So we're just going to keep all those. Going to go to Accept. That has created a project for us. We'll go to File, Save Scene As. We'll call this one Groot 01. Save As. Continue. And now I just need to set this project. So I'm going to go to Set Project. It's going to ask me which project I want to set it as. I'll say Groot Set. So now whenever I do renders or any of that kind of stuff, or trying to connect textures, it'll look inside of this project folder and not someplace else. So, all right, we're ready to move forward. We're going to continue our retop here. We had the face done. Now we just need to create the neck area and the top of the head. So I'm going to jump back into my quad draw tool. I'm going to do in some of the underneath the chin here and attach around the back of the neck so that the geometry I have running over the top has something to connect to. So I'm just going to add in some new geometry down here to kind of rough in underneath the chin. It's important to have some geometry down here so that when his head goes up and down, it has some geometry to deform. So don't try just putting one or two polygons. You're going to want to have, a nice little set coming in here. Okay, that should be good. Move that point over a little bit. That's good. Now, if you notice his head is kind of twisted off to the side here, that's some stuff I'm going to have to adjust afterwards, but I think I can handle that. I'm just not going to work my way down too far because otherwise I'll have to do a lot of twisting and I just don't have to deal with a lot of deformation. Just manually build some of that stuff out. And I want this actually to fall a little closer to the trot line, that way it'll hold some of this definition here. And these polygons I'm going to have run around the back of the neck. I don't know if you saw what I just did there. I'll undo that last command. When you have the quad draw tool here, it has a lot of different functions. So you can move the edges, you can move the vertexes on the side there, you can even grab the face and move this around all by itself. If you hold down Control, it'll let you do the Insert Edge Loop tool as well. So if you have a piece of geometry you want to split this up in, instead of going Insert Edge Loop tool, you just hold down Control, and on the edge that you're on, it'll give me a vertical edge or a horizontal edge. I just wanted some extra geometry right here to kind of retain this little bit of a muscular look right here. So keep some of his tone. Okay, that's looking good. I'll just have a couple more here in the back. Okay. That's good. So now I can go ahead and start working around from the other side. I don't want to go all the way around on this side because I want to make sure the geometry is lining up going forward. If I go around this way, I'm kind of guesstimating until I kind of catch up with this geometry. So I'll just work from this side back to the back half. There we go, that's looking decent. But now we have like how the head's twisted, so you can see how this is coming around right here, and this is trying to go high. So I'll have to bring some of this down so it'll meet up with these guys on the back side. And like I said, I'm going to have to do a little bit of untwisting when it comes to this. This is the reason why usually when you want to do any kind of 3D sculpt, we're working with a 3D scan. These guys are, you know, weren't made with the intention that they're going to be retopologized. If you're going to do a high-res sculpt, usually you wanted them to be used in game or video. You wouldn't do them in pose like Groot currently is. But we're repurposing, so doing this kind of stuff can give you some tools to where if a sculpt isn't quite coming out the way you want, you can always fix it and make it work for you. You just gotta kind of look at it something and be like, all right, well I can still work through with that, instead of saying, nah, I think it isn't gonna work. Okay. Alright, so this is coming out good. In some cases they would even consider this a little bit too high res when I'm working in, but I think that this is actually about perfect. We live in an era where computers can handle 10,000 polygon plus meshes, and I think that this is in game, and I think that this is still going to put us way under. I can't really check my poly count right now because the poly count over here is taking into account all the live surface, and so some of it's just going to be kind of guesstimation. You could always go and retop down again too, or reduce polygons, whatever. Okay, so now the back of the head is all filled in. Now we're just going to kind of work up and into the cap. So I'm going to take a little bit broader swipes at this guy here. We'll kind of jump up a little bit. Could always add in some edge loops and get some of that surface detail back if I need to, but I want to kind of block this in a little faster. We're pushing it like 10 minutes right now, so I want to try and see if I can finish the head in the next 10 minutes. Add an edge loop in there. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. let's jump up some of the resolution up over here and kind of get high up in the cap. We'll drop edge loops in to redefine, but let's just see how this goes. That's good. A lot of people, when they are using the quad draw tool for the first couple times, sometimes they struggle getting these faces to connect the way they want to, and a lot of the reason why is just because uh, the camera angle plays a large part into completing some of these pieces of geometry. So if the camera can't quite get a good connection angle, then you kind of need to rotate around to where you can see a little bit better and give the camera some different options. Alright, there we go. Case in point is having a little bit of issue with that one there. There we go. There we go. I'm not talking very much right now, and it's not because there's not much to say really. I mean, it's all about just process, and I think that me talking might even be just distracting to someone who's watching how I'm solving some of the retop here. If you guys are watching part of this though, and like something comes up that I do that I didn't explain, feel free to leave a comment down there. I do my best to keep up on my comments and respond to them, and if I didn't catch or did something without explaining it, I do want to answer those questions so you guys have all the tools you need to go forward with this. I'm not trying to sabotage you in any way when it comes to doing retops. It's just about having the tools you need to do to be able to do the job and knowing the process, not forgetting to tell you one part of the one step that's important. So if I skip something on accident, please let me know, and I'll do my best to answer those questions. And if it's dire enough, I'll even reshoot the video and redo this just so that that information is included in there, and you guys don't have to troll down and look through the comments for a possible answer. We're actually doing pretty good here, and we're just about at the convergence. And the convergence is where all the geometry comes to a head, and you need to make sure that everything runs together and creates quads and looks good-ish. Usually if any part's going to look bad, it's where all the geometry starts to kind of run together. Okay. Okay, so now it's the whole top here is done, like the whole part of the head. I just need to do inside the cap, and I'm gonna do the inside parts here, and then I'm gonna save the very base of them for the very end. Okay, so I'm just gonna keep on working down. I still got about 3 minutes. I don't know if I'm gonna cut it in this one, but I'm gonna try. That's not gonna work. We're getting really close. We're almost done here, guys. Okay, so I got one extra quad here. Let's see here. Yeah, I think that's going to be the best bet there. Okay. So now I could straight up move this object off and then work with that. If I'm going to leave, I want this actually to stay on here so I can see how the edge flow goes. So when I'm creating the rest of the body parts, I can have this cascade down, make sure that my edge count's correct. So I'm actually going to duplicate this object here. So I'm going to go to Object, Control D, W, Center Pivot. So that when to translate with the W, you can tell it translates up here. I need it to be over here, so I'm going to go Modify, Center Pivot. Like I said, I also have it on my shelf here, but for those of you who didn't add to your shelf, let's go to Center Pivot. So now I have it on here. I'm going to translate that off. Still have the original over here, so I can work off of it. I'm going to create this new layer over here. I'm going to add, this will be my Retop layer. Go to Save. Retop is invalid. Okay, probably because I need my surface that. So, how about resurfaced? A little ambiguous, but it works for me. Good. All right. So now I just got to add this guy in here. I'm going to add selected object. I'm going to delete the history on this guy. And now I'm ready to kind of get him centered up. I'm going to do that in the next lesson. I'm already over 20 minutes here, but the head's done. So we'll pick this up in the next lesson. We'll get this set up to where it's on the world axis, that it matches up in the 4 views, and then we'll start working down into the torso and attach that into the head or into the neck area. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next lesson.